Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. January 1st. January 1st. Happy New Year 2020. Happy New Year's to everyone. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young. Hope you guys had a wonderful and safe New Year's Eve to New Year's Day. Hope nobody caught no DUIs out there on the road. None of that, because I'm sure a lot of people out there did. So let me give a second for everybody to jump in here. Welcome to another edition of a review. We're going to review a guy by the name of Morrison. Okay, this is an older video, but it doesn't matter when it comes to money. It never gets old. And everything. Math and money are one. So math is like when you talk about money and math is in there, math never gets old. Good morning, Quentin. Mark, what's up? Thank you for the Happy New Year's, Mark. I got your text last night. I was at dinner at Ruth Chris. Me and my woman went out with a few of her friends and enjoyed. I hope you guys had a Happy New Year as well. Man, I hope you guys are going to start it off right. I'm expecting to get a lot of clients right here in January because everybody had to get through that month of Christmas and buying gifts for everyone and all that good stuff. But now it's 2020. It's time to start fresh. What's up, best version? Welcome. 2020. Here we are. Welcome. Time to get them finances straight, get that health straight. Oh, you at the gym already? Oh, wow. That's crazy. Am I going to do the gym this morning? Maybe not. I'm still debating on it. Big things, Dynamite Wolf. What did he say? Big things for all of us in 2020. It sure is. You just make up in your mind. Mark says, about to be debt-free this year. I promise. All right, man. I want everybody to feel this freedom. I do. I want you guys all to know what it's like to be financially free. Not a millionaire, not a billionaire, not a trillionaire, but financially free. Finances in the black, finances above zero. Give everybody a minute to get in here for this review today. This one was sent to me. This particular video was sent to me by a follower of mine on Instagram. So he sent that to me. So for those of you that are new to my channel, welcome to Savings Minus Debt, the SMD family. Welcome. Just to let you know, if you're new here, this is what I call the safe zone. All right, the safe zone is a place where you can come and ask any type of financial question and not made to feel like you're dumb for not knowing, not made to feel like you were dumb for financing cars, clothes, cell phones, furniture. You know, you made a mistake, blah, 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 right? You can always turn it around. And my name is LJ Young, and I was in debt for the first 40 years of my life. And I lived in what's called the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt. No different than Star Trek's The Borg, The Matrix, the movie. Everybody lives in this box, but they don't know they live in this box, because if you've been in debt all your life, you have no idea that you live in a debt matrix. If you've been in debt all your life, you have no idea that money is spoken in two languages, debt and debt free. If you've been in debt all your life, you only speak debt. You get outside the debt matrix, you will clearly understand there's a whole different language. There's a whole different world outside of the debt matrix. I promise you. But this is the place where I show you. Now, if you live in there and never heard of somebody saying what I'm saying to you right now, I expose what I call the glitches in the debt matrix, okay? And the glitches in the debt matrix are things that don't make mathematical sense, but yet people continue to do them. Even though it doesn't make mathematical sense, those are the glitches in the debt matrix, okay? I expose the glitches in the debt matrix. So if you come to my channel and be like, who are you? Who are you to tell me this? You don't have a degree in that. And I'm just saying, no, not all that. Don't worry about all that. Only worry about the basic mathematics that I'm using. Does my math make sense or not? That's the catch. Now, even then when I point out the mathematical glitches in the debt matrix, it's going to be hard to grasp that what I'm saying is true. Even though you're going to know the mathematics is true, you're going to still have a hard time. Like, for example, if you believe you're a homeowner with a mortgage, right? You've probably been calling yourself a homeowner for years, even though you have a mortgage. Nobody's a homeowner if you have a mortgage. Math says this to be true. Math says if you owe the bank money for this house, you're not a homeowner, right? But some people will still be like, I know that's true, but F you, Linnell. I still believe I'm a homeowner. Okay. So that's the glitch. You know, if you have a finance cell phone in your hand, that's the glitch. That doesn't make mathematical sense. And last one, say like you financed a car and you believe you got it on sale. Okay. This is all you got to do. Go back home, grab that thick stack of paperwork that came with your car when you financed it and you signed it all. Look at the sale price and then go flip to the back of that thick stack of paperwork and look at the ending price when you finally pay it off 72 months, 84 months later, right? And then what I want you to do is take the sale price number and take the end price number and say end price number minus the sale price number. That's how much more you paid for that car than what it's worth. Okay. So you didn't really get it on sale. End price number minus sale price number will add up to how much you overpaid for that car, because the car you thought you got on sale, right? It's really already marked up because the business itself got to make a profit off the sale of that car. So you see what I'm saying? So that's how you know that's a glitch. That's a glitch in the debt matrix. Okay. Naima, welcome. Haven't seen you in a minute. Hello there. Happy New Year, Naima. Welcome, welcome. Naima, don't send them to my personal webpage. That's my personal LJ Young for Life is my personal webpage. Send them to the Dead Ain't My Daddy page on Facebook. Yeah, so that's my personal page. People are gonna go there and get mixed up and like, hey, he's not here talking about debt. What is he talking about? Right. All right, so let's get into it. Okay. So, but I thank you, Naima. Welcome. Happy New Year. Our Cart, Jaws, welcome. Give you guys a chance to get up in here. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so let me start out by bringing up some notes that I want you guys to follow along, okay? All right, so when I do this review of Jay Morrison, I guess he's a real estate guy. I'm not sure. I don't really follow him, but because he doesn't speak the language I speak. So I just, by just a few reviews but his business, how I feel about what he's doing is irrelevant. Math, never mix your feelings with your money ever. So I don't ever do that. So the review of this video, I'm not saying he's wrong, he's bad, he's doing anything illegal, he's stupid. I'm not saying any of that. I'm only pointing out mathematical inconsistencies, things that don't make mathematical sense. That's the only thing I'm reviewing this video on, okay? So before we get started, I want you to do this, and I want you to do this in your head, okay? Because this is going to be a very important piece of this review, okay? I want you to add up all your savings and then add up all your debt and then go savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life, okay? Now, 9 times out of 10, this is going to be a deep, large negative number, all right? Deep, large negative number. Okay. And I want you to keep that number in your head as we review this video. Okay. That's very important. Okay. You don't even have to use your calculator. Everybody kind of can just add this stuff up in their head. All right. All right. And I'm also going to be showing you that there's 2 sides to credit, the credit world. There's the consumer side and there's the business side. The difference between the two is like the consumer side, they don't trust mathematics. On the business side, people trust mathematics. That's the difference between the wealthy and the not wealthy. The not wealthy don't believe in mathematics. They don't trust it. The wealthy believe in mathematics. Okay. Now, math and money, these things, I'm pointing these things out. So this is very important. Math and money are one. If math didn't exist, we wouldn't be able to have the ability to count money, right? We would see a whole bunch of money and we'd be like, hey, what do we do with this? What are those funny symbols on their numbers? What are those funny symbols on this paper? We wouldn't know what to do with it, right? So they're together. You can't break math away from money, but the only thing that can separate math from money are people's feelings, how they feel about it. And that's where people mess up, when they add their feelings. Now everybody, the majority of people want to become a millionaire. They do. People want to become a millionaire. But this is what I want you guys to see. How do you count to 1 million? What must you start with to count to 1 million? 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 million, right? That's how we count. But if your finances are in the negative, like what I said earlier, add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. If you're in the negative, you must start in the negative. So say like you're negative 50,000, you must count negative 50,000, negative 49,000, negative 48,000, all the way up to 0. And once you're at 0, now you can count to 1 million. Math and money are one, okay? All right, let's get this. Brian, hello, welcome. Ill Wills, thank you for the Happy New Year. Man, Abe, welcome you guys. Welcome. All right, so let's get this started. All right, let me, now this video is about 25 minutes or so, and I'm probably going to skip through all the stuff that he introduces himself and all that stuff. So if it starts out that way, I believe it's going to start out that way, but you did? Is that for today, Abe? Make sure that's you. Okay. Cause I do have an appointment for today later this afternoon. I'm not sure if that's you or not, Abe, but I only have one for today, actually. Okay. All right, cool. Okay. That is you. All right, cool. Thank you for reaching out. I appreciate that. Okay. So yeah, 12 o'clock your time, 3 o'clock my time. All right, cool. I just want to make sure we're on the same page there. All right, so let's get this started here. All right, you guys ready? All right, here we go. Let me get this turned up. Let me share the screen. All right, let's get this started. Let's get this party started. Here we go. Now, remember, like I said earlier, I'm not saying anything negative about Jay Morrison. I do not interject my feelings. I'm only going to point out things that don't make mathematical sense. Okay, here we go.
I'm a celebrity realtor, kind of a real estate mogul, motivational speaker. I'm kind of a 5 businesses to be exact. I love giving informative information. And what this is about is the blueprint for how you build wealth. This is a blueprint for how you become a millionaire. It's like the basics. Other than hitting the lotto or playing a professional sport, I'm going to give you like 3 core things that you could do immediately in your life and that you can share with your loved ones or give back to your family. You want to become a millionaire? One of the main things that you're going to need is credit, right? So in our millionaire blueprint.
Okay, right away, I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. You don't need credit to become a millionaire. Okay, that's not true. All right, that's not mathematically true. But I'm not saying how. We're gonna walk through and see what he's talking about, his version of becoming a millionaire using credit. But again, I'm gonna point out things that don't make mathematical sense. Okay.
We're gonna cover credit. And this is not a lecture. This is going to be, I'm going to need your help and your response, right? Because we're going to learn together. So does anyone tell me what the definition of credit is? Anybody? You guys are in college.
Mathematically, it means I have no money, so I need to borrow money from somebody so I can use their money at a percentage rate. Okay, so it's going to cost me, since I have no money, so I'm going to use somebody else's money. and they're going to charge me to use their money. That's the true mathematical definition of credit. Okay.
You got into this, at least your own version. Yes, sir. Correct. It's an easy definition for credit is the ability to make payments over time, right? So it's your ability to make consistent payment over a time period. So if you borrow money from me today and say, Jay, I want $100, and I give you $100 and you pay me back tomorrow, I'm happy you paid me back, but you didn't establish any real credit.
He's happy you paid him back, but you didn't really pay him any interest on his money. So he's not really making any money. So it's not a big deal. Okay.
Same thing with a bank or a debit card or a credit card. So a lot of times what we do is, and where we're misinformed, miseducated, is that
it is not the same thing as a credit card and a debit card. You use your debit card, you're not paying back anything. It's your money. Okay. There's a big difference between a debit card and a credit card. That's not true. When people mix things like that, I can't stand it when people mix things like that. That's not true. Okay.
We'll charge some things on our card this month, and then we'll pay it all off at the end of the month.
Yes.
And we think that we did a good thing.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do. When you're not in the debt matrix, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, if you have a credit card, just like me, I have a credit card. But whenever I use that credit card, I pay it off at the end of the month. I pay it in full. Why? Because I do not pay interest on borrowed money. Okay. What I do is help you create the wealth building foundation. And what the foundation is, I seal up all the cracks in your foundation so you can build. Cracks in your foundation are interest payments. Okay. Anything you're paying interest on are cracks in your wealth building foundation.
Because we paid it off, right? We have a zero balance. It has to be great.
Yes, it is great. Okay.
But by doing that, you form no credit with the bank.
So what?
Paying off your entire loan.
So what?
So you want to make payments over a time period.
No, you don't.
Now, if you charge something for $300, you give the bank $30 this month, $30 the next month, maybe $60, you double up, maybe $20. You've now shown the bank you can make payments over a time period. So
you've now shown the bank that, yeah, you can make payments over time, but you're paying interest. So the bank likes that. The bank likes it when you borrow their money and pay for the privilege. Okay. Please understand, credit is not free. A credit score is not free. You must pay for a credit score. How do you pay for a credit score? By paying interest on borrowed money. Okay.
So when we write the definition of credit, I'm going to tell you why. Then we'll go into why that's actually valuable, right? It's just not about definition, but it's the foundation. So credit is the ability to make payments over time, right? So where this starts, and we're going to talk about how you establish credit and how credit is viewed. So with credit, your ability to make payments over time, this is the core of how you start to build wealth. Because most millionaires, most billionaires, they don't use a majority of their own money for their investments or for buying properties or buying businesses.
Okay, I want you guys to understand this, okay? What he's saying is this. He's not talking about personally. He's talking about business. He's switching between business and personal credit. I want you guys to understand this. When he's talking about borrowing money business-wise, that's cool. That's cool. That's okay to borrow money on the business side. Millionaires, billionaires, yes, that's true. They don't use their own money to build businesses. They don't. But I guarantee you this, personally, I guarantee you most millionaires and billionaires do not have credit on the personal side. Okay. Business.
What do? They use their credit. They leverage their credit. When
Correct.
you see somebody buying a basketball team or buying these big businesses or
Yes.
$400 million, Facebook was sold, or Instagram, all these kind of things. These things aren't typically purchased with cash capital.
That is true. Remember, he's talking business.
They're purchased by banks because people have.
He's talking business credit. Business credit. Okay. He's not talking personal credit.
made payments over time throughout their lifetime, have established real leverage with banks, and now can go to a bank and say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about opening a Chick-fil-A in Jersey City. And the bank's going to say, well, what's your ability to make payments over time? I love to loan you the money. It sounds like a good idea. You got a great business plan. I want to loan you this money. But if you go to the bank.
Let me tell you guys this, okay? This is very important. If you came to the bank with cash, zero debt, and you had cash and the right business plan, the bank is not going to turn you down a large down payment on whatever business you're doing. If they can clearly see you have no debt, they're going to recognize that. They're going to see that like, oh, this dude knows. He understands. He or she understands that you don't start out in debt. This person understands the language of debt free. You come to the bank with no debt and cash for your business, they're going to understand that you understand the language of debt free. They wouldn't insult you with any loan that's not the best on the market.
Bank, but hey, I paid everything off my whole life in cash. Look, they're going to say, well, how do I know you're going to pay me through the life of this loan?
This is how they're going to know. If you come up to them, up to the bank, and you're 30, 40 years old, 50 years old, and you have no debt, they're going to know that you know, because the majority of Americans are in debt. If you come up to a bank and ask for a business loan and you have a student loan that's older than your children, they're going to know that you don't know, because that doesn't make sense, CENTS, to keep a student loan for 20, 30 years. I promise you.
If you want to purchase a house, it's typically a 30-year mortgage. What's going to show me that you're going to pay this mortgage back over 30 years? That's going to be your ability to make payments over time. So a lot of times, us, especially as youth, we think that cash is king. And in the real world, in the business world, cash is not king. Credit is king.
Okay, see, he's talking now. He switched over to business. He's right. Inside of business, he's right. Okay, he's swapping back and forth. I want you guys to pay close attention,
because this is going to allow you to leverage to make big moves in life, right? So for me, I learned this when I was 25. I bought my first house at 25. Then I bought 3 houses by 26 and 6 by 20.
I wish he would go into specifics how he bought his first houses by 25. I wish he would go into specifics about that. Not knocking that he did or didn't. I just want to know how he did it. That's all.
27. Then I learned I could leverage making those payments on all those properties over time to get big business loans, $1 million business loans. And private investors will invest in you because they've seen that you've made payments over time with other institutions, right? So this is where it becomes really valuable. So is everyone familiar with the fact that we have 3 credit scores? Everyone know that? You have 3 credit scores? Does anyone know what that abbreviation is, or how that's kind of summed up? What are your 3 credit scores called? Anybody? Or must I tell you? He knows everything. Yes. We all have, there's 3 credit bureaus. And the 3 scores are typically called your FICO score, right? Your FICO credit score. This is very important. You'll also hear it will say FICO, and then we'll kind of improvise and say, AKA your middle score, right? So your
all right, let me make sure you guys understand this, okay? All right. When you get outside of the debt matrix, you no longer worship the FICO score, the credit gods, the FICO, the Vantage, all this other stuff, this mathematical formula of how to calculate the 3 scores, the middle score. That only means something if you live in the debt matrix. Who do you think comes up with the Equifax, the TransUnion, and Experience? The banks. The banks own this whole system. They created it. Okay, I want you to understand this. The banks created the system. It's not fancy and convoluted. And why do you have 3 and the middle one means something? See all that nonsense? That's nonsense. You don't need to. Once you get out of the debt matrix, none of that means nothing. It means something to people in the debt matrix. Okay.
FICO score is what you'll commonly hear referenced as your middle credit score. So you're someone, well, what's your credit score, right? You really have 3 of them. There's 3 credit scores you have. There's 3 credit bureaus. It might be, my spelling might be wrong, but it's Equifax and
Now, I'm not saying Jay is, and I want you guys to be clear. I'm not saying anything business-wise. He's not right or he's dumb. I'm not saying any of that. That has nothing to do with nothing. I'm only pointing out mathematical inconsistencies, things that don't make mathematical sense. So what he's saying right now, it's fine in a credit world, but when you use mathematics, none of that makes sense at all. None.
Maybe an E here, I'm not sure. TransUnion. And Experian, right? So there's 3 credit bureaus. And out of these 3 credit bureaus, you have a middle score, a FICO score, which when you apply for a car, they'll just take one of these, any one of these, depending on the car dealership.
Hey, and check this out. See what he just said? The car dealership is going to take one of those. When you walk on a car lot, do you ever ask, hey, which one of those credit bureaus are you going to use for the score that's for me? Which one? Nobody ever asked that. They get a choice. And this is what I think. Say like there's a car dealership that uses TransUnion, okay? Do they got to deal with TransUnion? Does TransUnion pay that car dealership, or does that car dealership pay TransUnion to use their score? Who knows? Who knows? And when you're wrapped up in the credit world, when you're outside the debt matrix, who cares? It doesn't matter.
But when you apply for a house, and the reason why I'm relevant in this conversation, why it brought me here, is because if you look, real estate is the majority. Real estate is the majority investment of wealthy people in America. I think it's 80.8% of the real estate in America is owned by 10% of the population. So that means for every 8 house or every 10 houses you see, they're owned, 8 of them is owned by 1 out of 100 people. So real estate is a foundation for wealth. So this is a wealth seminar, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or what I call the Millionaire Blueprint, but it's somewhat of a real estate seminar because real estate can be and will be the foundation of you achieving substantial wealth, right? So when it comes to purchasing homes, all banks look at your middle score, right? So say we have Equifax here, and you pull your credit, and your Equifax score is 680. Then you check your next score, your TransUnion, and you have a 700 credit score. But then we check your Experian, for some reason you got a 620, right? With your FICO score, 3 scores. So what here is your middle credit score? It's not the average. What's that? 680? 700? It's 680. But why is it 680? Do you know why? Can you tell them why? Correct. Very good. This is valuable information. This is like life-changing stuff right here.
No, it's not.
If you came in here today and you didn't know what your FICO score was, with your middle credit score, you've been behind the game. Like, you've been behind. Like, you should know this before you know your favorite rap song.
Not true.
This is important. What your middle credit score is and how
no,
to
it's
find
not.
it. And the way you do that is, and I teach this to high school kids, college, adults, older adults, or whatever. But you take your highest credit score. Your highest credit score is what? Right? So it doesn't matter. You print your credit report out, right? Doesn't matter what.
And when you guys hear me say, no, it's not. I'm not saying that Jay is lying. In the debt matrix, let me just make sure I say this, because any Jay Morrison's fans, I don't want you guys be tripping. I'm not saying he is wrong according to the debt matrix, but outside the debt matrix, that means absolutely nothing.
Order these numbers coming or these names coming makes no difference. When you find your middle, you take your highest score. Here's your highest, right? 700. And then where's your lowest score? 620. What are you left with? That's your middle credit score. You take your highest score and your lowest score, and you throw them out, or you cross them out. So when you print out your credit report, pay no attention to the order that they're printed. You look for the highest score, you look for the lowest score, you cross them out. This right here.
Now I want you guys to pay close attention to something, okay? If you've ever looked at all three of your credit reports, have you noticed like sometimes there's some debts on the Equifax that don't show up on the TransUnion, or there might be a debt that's on the Experian, but it's not on the Equifax. If that's the case, and they're sporadic through the whole three credit reports, that middle score cannot be accurate unless all three credit reports are reporting the exact same things. How could that be true? It's not true. That's impossible. That's not true. That's not true. Every single credit report must be exactly the same for that to be true. And a lot of people don't know this. Let me make sure you guys understand this. Each credit bureau has its own scoring range. All ranges. Equifax has their own credit range. TransUnion have their own credit range, and the last one has their own credit range. If they each have their own credit range, some of them are reporting the same things and some are not. How can that be true? It's not mathematically true. That's not true. None of that is true. It can't be true. But if you believe it, it's true.
Is your middle credit?
And when I say this is not true, I'm not saying Jay Morrison knows what he's not saying or is saying. I'm saying according to the credit bureaus themselves, mathematics. Okay.
Score, your FICO. So if you're applying for a loan one day, you finally find that girl or guy of your dreams. You say, baby, we're going to buy a house. And you go to the bank and they say, well, we need to know what your FICO score is. You're not going to look like a deer in headlights now. You're going to know what your FICO score is.
A lot of people don't know this. Okay. You can buy a house without a credit score. You can. It's called manual underwriting. When you come to the bank and you don't have a credit score and you got money and you have no debt, you better believe you're going to get the best mortgage on the market. Okay. That's not true. You do not need a FICO score to buy a house to get a mortgage. That's not true.
Your middle credit score, which is the one between the highest and the lowest. Like this is the foundation for building wealth. You can't be.
No, it's not, Jay.
Mind you, there's
no, it's not.
People that get lucky and become rich through luck, through inheritance, or through the lotto.
Or not lucky and become financially free, and you can do it without luck. You don't need to be lucky. You don't need to win the lottery. That's not true. Okay. So no, that's not true.
What's other things? There's also people that put a gun in their head, pull a trigger.
What?
And it jams. But I don't want to run around putting guns in my head.
What?
The way that you can ensure that you.
What the hell are you talking about a gun for?
Is by learning these basic core facts.
What?
Because now that you know.
What did that have to do with anything? I'm curious. That threw me off there. A gun to my head.
It is the ability to make payments over time. And you stop paying cash for everything and paying all your credit cards off at once.
Yeah.
Or understand that making those timely payments are very important and don't let them go on a default.
They're important to the bank. The bank wants to make money off you. Check it out. When you make payments and pay them interest, the almighty credit gods, they reward you with a credit score. They say, great job, person. Thank you for making us money. We will reward you by increasing the points on your credit score. Congratulations. Now you went from a 680 to a 690. You're welcome. Oh, thank you, almighty credit gods. Thank you I paid you for that credit score. You reward me with points. That's it. Nothing more than that, people. Nothing.
By all means, if you can do this, make payments over time, and build up your credit scores and your FICO, you now put yourself in a position to be able to buy homes, cars, get business loans.
You position yourself into paying back and increasing that credit score. Now you have the ability to dig yourself deeper in debt now. Okay. You increase your credit score by getting in debt, by paying the banks more money. And then once they reward you with a higher credit score, now you have the ability to dig yourself deeper into debt. Here's the shovel. Here's the shovel. Take it. Enjoy yourself. Keep on digging. Okay?
Loans and be able to leverage this credit for all types of things that can build value and revenue for your life, right? So this is all the foundation, what credit is and your FICO. Now, some people say, well, Jay, how can I build credit though, right? Does anyone know here know how you can build credit?
Hey, Jay, I don't know. Can you please tell me, Jay? Tell me how to do it.
Fast track what? Yes.
Pick me, Jay. Pick me.
Correct. So we're going to say building credit. The how, right? So one thing we just said is that you can get small credit cards, small limit.
What?
What's CCC, right?
Oh,
You
God.
can get small limit credit cards. Even if you're get a credit card for $50 a month, $100 a month, and you make those payments over time, you're not establishing a large limit of credit, but you're establishing your ability to make payments over time. You are establishing credit that will increase your credit scores, thus increase your FICO score, right? By getting small limit credit cards. That's one way. Anyone else know how you can increase your credit score? What's that? Correct.
Oh,
Two,
my God. Oh.
small loans. Same thing.
Pay close attention, you guys. How to establish your credit by going deeper and deeper in debt. Small credit, limit credit cards, get small loans, get deeper and deeper in the debt to increase your credit score. That makes absolutely no sense. Now, mind you, this is Jay's business, okay? He's not wrong. If you live in the debt matrix, only people in the debt matrix would ever do that.
Credit's credit, whether it's a credit card, whether it's a loan, even if it's a $2,000 car note.
Oh, God.
And you're making payments over time, you're establishing credit. This sets you up for the win later. You got to think about the long haul.
No, it doesn't. It's going to set you up for losing later. Okay. You're not even later. You're losing now. As soon as you sign on the dotted line for whatever you're going to buy, a credit, a car, oh my man, this stuff is hard to watch. And again, I'm not saying it's Jay, because there's thousands of people like Jay teaching this stuff. Okay. And it's business. I want you guys to understand that is business. How I feel about what Jay is doing is 100% irrelevant. I'm only talking about the mathematical things that don't make sense mathematically.
Because one day before you know it, I didn't go to college. I wasn't fortunate enough. I made wrong decisions in life. But I learned some life lessons, and I was able to get this information.
What I teach, you don't need to go to college. It's just mathematics, the math we learned in grade school. You don't need college, okay? Don't let that throw you off. You don't need college, okay?
Information and apply this information and make over $1 million for myself by 28. Just by doing everything I'm telling you. It's not like some stuff I just read in a book. I'm just regurgitating it to you. This is actually stuff I really applied at 24, 25 years old. Everything I'm telling you is stuff that I learned hands-on, and then I applied these things and became successful. So what's another way you can establish credit? How can you build your credit? Anybody? Cool, I'll tell you. You can go to a bank. Multiple banks, small bank, big bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, New Jersey Bank, wherever. And you can get a secured credit card.
Oh, God.
Or a secured loan. So same thing we just said here, right? But now you say, well, what if I apply? I keep getting
All right. You guys need to understand this, okay? Now, I saw Expire Zero said, why are you debunking him? I'm not debunking him, okay? I'm only pointing out things that don't make mathematical sense. So let me point this out so you guys can understand what a secured credit card is, because people don't know what secured credit card is. There's an unsecured credit card and there's a secured credit card. Secured credit cards are only for people that have bad credit. Okay, so this is what happens so you can understand how a secured credit card works. Say like you wanted a $500 secured credit card. You must give them $500 first. So you take $500 that you already have in your hand. $500 you already have in your hand, and then you give it to the bank. The bank swaps that over and gives you a piece of plastic. Okay, give you $500 worth of plastic. You take that, they take your money and hold it. They loan it out, make some money, loaning your $500 out to everybody else. And not only do they make money off of the money that you put in, they charge you an interest rate to use your own money. So you can have the privilege of the bank reporting to the 3 credit bureaus, hey, credit bureaus, this person paid us back his own money on time, and they charge you an interest rate on your own money. The $500 that you had in your hand right away, you give it to the bank, and the bank loans it out on the back end because they hold it. And at the same time, they charge you an interest rate to use your own money. That makes absolutely no mathematical sense. None whatsoever. None. Don't ever get a secured credit card. Ever.
Denied. What you can do is you get the secured version of the above.
Now, again, those of you that are coming into this room, listening to me review this video, I'm not debunking him. I'm not downplaying him. I'm not saying he's stupid. I'm not saying he's anything. I'm only pointing out the things that don't make mathematical sense. If you ever want to become a millionaire, you get out of the credit game personally. Ever. Don't ever finance anything, ever. Because remember this, anytime you finance something, you are financing the taxes too. So if you go finance a car, you obviously are financing the car because you have no money to buy the car cash. So if you don't have the money to buy the car cash, you definitely don't have the money for the taxes. So what? You're not only are you financing the car, you're financing the taxes too. Okay, you're getting taxed twice and an interest rate on top of that spread over 72 months. It's ridiculous.
I did this. It works. Secure loans and secure credit cards. How they work is you go into a bank, right? You get your refund check or your job check. You get a couple $100. You go to the bank and say, I want to, this guy, Mr. Real Estate, came into my school and said I could establish credit.
Ooh,
you go to the bank and say, I want to get, here's $200, $300, $500, $1,000. And say, I want to get a secure loan or I want to get a secure credit card, right? The way it works is you give the bank your money. They're going to make you fill out some paperwork.
Sure are.
Before you leave the bank that day, they're going to give you your money right back to you. You're not going to lose any money that day. You don't lose $1 by getting a secure loan or secure credit card.
Really?
But what happens is they give you your money back, the same money you gave them.
Yeah.
They write you a check for it from the bank as a loan. Or they give you a credit card with your name on it as...
They loan you back your own money. Okay. Did you hear what he said? You give them your money and then they loan your own money back to you. Okay. Listen closely. Listen mathematically.
A debit card or credit card, secure credit card. Not even debit, secure credit card. So now by going to the bank with a few $100 with no credit,
right, you
can walk out now with a credit limit.
Oh, God.
By way of loan or credit card.
Oh.
So this is the fast track. I did this. I went into, at the time,
sure you did.
Bank, or now TD Bank. I went in with $1,000 and I got a secure loan. Probably like 2002 or 3. Then I went into Bank of America with $2,600. I remember this, like the back, I did it. And I got a secure credit card. Visa logo, my name, $2,600 limit. Now what the bank does is they put your money in a CD. So not only are you building credit, but the money you gave the bank, they put it in a CD bearing interest. So now that $1,000 that the bank loaned me, I paid them back over a year. And when I was finished paying them back, they gave me my original money back plus interest from the CD. So I actually made money on the money that I gave to build my credit.
Oh, God.
I killed two birds with one stone. This is an easy way for you not to lose any money. We know money's tight these days. You don't lose any money when you start to establish credit. Easy. Everyone here can start building credit, start building their FICO.
Let me explain something to you guys, okay? I know I'm a little over dramatic, but I don't have any debt, okay? And when you speak debt free, you can hear the things that all these things that don't make mathematical sense. Now, I'm not ignoring you guys' questions, okay? I want to get through this video and then I'm gonna come back through all the chat, okay? But I want you guys to understand this. It's very difficult to listen to when you're financially free, because when you're financially free, you only do things that make mathematical sense. Now, in order for me to believe anything Jay is saying personally, I would have to see his personal credit report first, all three of them. If I could see his personal, not his credit score, because people be mixing up credit score versus credit report. I would have to see his in their entirety, his three credit reports.
Making payments over time.
His credit reports will tell me everything I need to know if Jay really knows what he's talking about, or is this just his business? I mean, you can clearly see it's his business, but what I'm saying is this: if he knows and he's just in the credit building business, it's really hard to put in words, okay?
So now I'm going to tell you the trick to using your credit card.
Oh, there's a trick.
Or the trick to paying back a loan the right way.
Okay, let's see that trick. Right now, he's going to tell us how to trick the banks, okay? These guys, the bank's been in this game for centuries, but he's going to tell us the trick.
And we'll just call this how to pay on credit. So people will tell you, debt to income ratio, 45%, 30%, this, that. Very easy. This is a very easy rule. High school kids remember it. This is how you properly use a credit card or secure loan. Again, this is not me just telling you for the sake of telling you because it's rules. This is me showing you the blueprint.
There are rules. There are mathematical rules to finance. There's mathematical rules to building wealth. The only difference between the wealthy and not wealthy, the not wealthy don't trust mathematics. The wealthy trust mathematics. That's the only difference.
Become a millionaire. It all leads up to something, right? It's like there's a peak at the end. So you're following these tips and these rules all to get to an end result. And that's what we're going to get to, is the end result. So we'll recap, and some new people just came in, and so everybody's, hopefully you're taking notes, because you're going to need this. Is this it? Okay. That's not it. Okay. So we talked about, in our millionaire blueprint, you're going to have credit to be successful in America. We run off credit. Everything runs off. The government runs off credit. We owe China like a freaking $1 trillion, literally. More. Right? Everything runs off credit. So you have to have credit in order to work in society. Credit is the ability to make payments over time. It means how you show someone you can make payments over a time period. And we just talked about how credit is used when it comes to mortgages and homes and land, which is one of the biggest assets of all wealthy Americans. And that's having a strong FICO score or middle credit score.
I want you guys to clearly understand, he's mixing business and personal together. Don't get confused. Yes, credit is helpful on the business side, not personally. Business side. So if you're going to purchase real estate and property, rental property, yes. To borrow money, to buy rental property, to buy a house that you're going to rent on the business side. Personally, that's a no-go, okay?
Your middle credit score is a score between your highest and lowest. Doesn't matter how it gets printed out on your credit report. When you go to annualcreditreport.com or you go to your mortgage company, it makes no difference how it's printed out. You take your highest score, which is 700 here, your lowest score, which is 620, and you're left with your middle, which is 680. Your middle score is your FICO score, right? That matters. Then we talk about how can you establish credit? How can you build credit? Through small credit cards, go to Macy's, go to Best Buy. Girls, go to
God.
Go to Victoria's Secret.
He's telling you to get department store credit cards. Oh. Okay. again, he's not wrong. Okay. He's not wrong. If you want to stay in debt, if you want to continue to live in the debt matrix, you do exactly what he's saying, and you will live there your entire life if you do any of that. If you want to get out of the debt matrix and you want to become a millionaire, a multimillionaire, a billionaire, get out of the debt matrix. This is how you get out of the debt matrix. All you got to do is trust the math that you learned in grade school. Apply the math that you learned in grade school to your finances, and you will always win with money. Always.
Get your girl something. Whatever you want to do. Small limit credit cards, small loans, or secured credit cards or secured loans. Guaranteed way to build credit. All you guys will be in the game. Then we go, well, how do you pay on credit? How do you use this properly? And it's very simple. It's my rule, what I call divide by 3. That's it. Divide by 3.
All right, tell me what that means, Jay.
Credit card.
What's that mean?
You take the maximum limit of your credit card, you divide it by 3.
Okay.
Right? So if you have a 300 max on your credit card,
yeah,
you divide by 3, what do we got?
100.
Right. That's your new maximum. Don't go over that.
Why?
That's all.
Why?
If you have a $3,000 credit card limit,
1,000.
divide by 3, what do you got? That's it. That's your max limit. Don't go over that.
Why?
If you divide by 3 on your credit cards, no matter how broke you are, how much you need gas.
What?
Maybe use it and pay it off. You pay that off quickly. But if you keep your credit card maximum limit a third to your balance, which is basically dividing by 3, you divide your max limit, right? So you take your max credit card limit and divide it by 3 and make a new maximum for yourself. If you do this and make payments over time, you're rocking and rolling. Your FICO is going to jump. Your stock is going to jump. Your value to banks and lenders is going to be phenomenal. Because now you showed them not only can I make payments over time, I can keep my balances steady.
Look, almighty credit gods, look. I'm keeping my third to the balance just like you guys like it. Look. I'm only using, I know you guys let me borrow $3,000, but I'm only using $1,000. I'm paying back on time and I'm paying you interest. Almighty credit gods, please bless me with a higher credit score. That is, man. If you believe in the debt matrix, you do everything that Jay is saying, because again, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He knows what he's talking about. He knows exactly what to do inside the debt matrix. Okay, this is not a debunking video. This is not a talk bad about him video. It's none of that. None of that. What he's saying makes perfect sense inside the debt matrix. When you get out of the debt matrix and you're the person on the business side of credit and you're the person loaning the money to the people in the debt matrix that believe in credit cards and secured credit cards, using a third of the balance. You need this to buy a house. Hey, if you're the person loaning the money for people that believe this, hey, great. Hey, yeah. Here, you can borrow $3,000. You can only, and you make payments, my money back, and you use this and the interest, whatever, right? Whatever you want to do in the debt matrix, and earlier he said debt to income ratio. Debt to income ratio are only for what? People in debt. When you don't have no debt, there is no debt to income ratio because you have no debt. So there is no ratio. I don't need no ratio created by the bank to tell me about my money. Once you get out of debt, there is no debt to income ratio because you have no debt. It only applies to people in the debt matrix. Debt to income ratio.
I'm not over the place maxing everything out. I'm stable.
You're stable.
Right? So you divide by 3, create a new maximum for yourself, make payments over time, and now you're in a position to
do what?
Some moves, millionaire moves.
Millionaire moves.
Are there any questions at this point?
Yes.
If you don't have a limit, American Express card, then you don't need any of this information. If you don't have a limit, that means you're the man.
Oh man, are you serious?
Yes, sir. What it is that you don't want to exceed this maximum limit. So I don't care what you pay per month, 50, 20, 100, whatever you do per month, just don't exceed a third of your maximum limit. Yes, ma'am. That's cool. You can do that. You're flirting with fire, though.
What did she say?
If you don't exceed it, you don't have to worry about paying it off. Right?
What?
Because what if you max it out? You think you're going to pay it off, and something else happens. Your car breaks down. Yeah, a maxed out credit card is going to hurt your FICO score. If you pay it off, you'll be fine. But then you want to keep it at a third. So if you max out again and pay it off, you max out again and pay it off, you haven't maintained a third of your balance. Because now you get back to the point of what I said in the beginning, I don't know if you were here, is that proving to the bank you have disposable cash is not what they're looking for. A lot of people have cash.
No, they don't.
Right? So if you just max something off and then pay it off, all you're saying is, yeah, I got cash laying around. Daddy got a big checkbook. I'm a bartender, I get good cash.
Or you're financially free. I have a credit card that I pay off in full every month, okay? You don't have to have a daddy's checkbook. You don't have to, you just stay out of debt. You just stay out of debt. Pay the credit card off in full every month, and your credit score does go up. It does. I'm living proof of that. If you guys don't believe me, go to my Facebook/Daddy My Daddy. Go look at my entire credit report. Go check it out. Go take a look at it. That's done with one credit card that's paid off every single month. Okay, just go look at it. So that's not true.
Cash money, I can pay this off. It doesn't make a bank feel comfortable. What makes it feel comfortable is steady, right? That's why it's the ability to make payments over time. It's over a time period. It's review your profile over a time period. And that's the time when you get stronger FICO scores. Not saying you have bad credit if you do that. We're talking about trying to have the strongest credit possible. So that's like, it's like slow and steady wins the race. I stay at a third of my balances. I make payments over time. Yes. What do you mean?
So if that I have a student loan of $12,000, that paid off monthly, like $350 a month.
Right.
So is that more like a down payment, or?
That's not a down payment. Student loans is a little different, and they're viewed differently by credit bureaus.
Oh yeah, student loan debt is the worst debt to ever have, ever. Student loan debt is only second to IRS debt. If you have student loan debt, you are a slave until you pay it off. Okay, remember that. Student loan debt is only second to IRS debt. If you don't pay that student loan off, you will be paying it with your Social Security checks. You will be paying it with your retirement, and you will be paying on it until you are dead, slave. You're a slave.
A lot of them have deferments, and it's just a whole different.
You better believe the banks look at student loan debt differently, because they know if you've been paying on your student loans for your life, if you've been paying on a 4-year college for 20 years, if your student loans are older than your children, you are a slave, and the bank recognizes that. Okay, so if you went to get a home loan, a mortgage, right, and you haven't paid off your student loan in 20 years, the bank understands that. They know good and well you're not going to pay a house off in 30. Say like you had $100,000 in student loan debt. You're going to sign up for a 30-year mortgage and pay off a $300,000-$400,000 house? No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. I promise you, you're not. And the bank understands that.
Different animal. What we're talking about is merchant credit, right? Loans and credit cards. This is the stuff that everybody in the world virtually has student loans. But
listen to what he's saying. Oh, virtually everybody has student. No, you don't. No, they don't, Jay. I don't have student loans. And there's a very few minority of us that don't. Okay. Everybody doesn't have student loans. That's not true. If you get out of the debt matrix, you will see this. You can come on this side and say, oh, Jay's wrong. That's not true. Everybody doesn't virtually have student loans. That's not true. That's not true. Jay, stop lying to people. That's not true. Okay. Only people in the debt matrix have student loans. Okay.
They want to see, when you're talking about car loans, when you're talking about credit cards, when you're talking about private loans, how you handle those. No one expects you to take your $60,000 student loan and then just all of a sudden divide by 3, right? No one's expecting that. But on all your other credit,
You better believe they're not expecting that. They're expecting you to be a slave your whole entire life. The majority of people in student loans don't even believe they'll ever pay off their student loans. That's why they have student loan forgiveness programs for people like that. Those are called slave camps. Okay. Student loan forgiveness programs are where they tell you where to work, where you're going to work, how long you're going to work, and how much you're going to make there because you're a slave. You're going to accept whatever they say. Okay, for the next 10 years, you're going to work here. This is how much you're going to make, and this is how long you're going to do it, slave. And you better follow all the rules those whole entire 10 years, else we're kicking you out of the program, slave. So what's your choice? Accept this. If you don't believe you will ever pay off your student loans, if you get in one of those student loan forgiveness programs, you are a slave. Slavery is alive and well. And never forget this. Debt is the colorblind slave master. Doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care if you're gay, straight, short, tall, live in this part of the country and that part of live in Calabasas, California, or the ghetto in Detroit. It doesn't matter. That doesn't care where you live, what you do. You are in debt. You are a slave. Okay. Never forget that.
credit, if you're maintaining that properly, you'll maintain strong FICOs. Did I answer your question or am I? Yeah, a little bit. Anybody else before we go on? All right, cool. So, yes, sir. No, it really makes no difference. If you want to pay a minimum payment every month, pay the minimum payment. That's okay, as long as you're not over a third of your balance. It makes no difference. Keep this ratio at a third and do whatever you want to do within that. Whatever you want to do, other than be late, obviously. Right? That's all. Just divide by 3 and do whatever you want within that third. That's playtime. And just don't be late.
All right. Woo. Oh, that was a tough one for me to get through. I ain't gonna lie. I can't, you guys, I want you to understand, okay? There's 2 languages when it comes to money. Debt. When it comes to money, money is spoken in 2 languages, debt and debt free, okay? If you've been in debt all your life, you only speak debt. I promise you, you only speak debt. All right, so let's go through some of these questions. All right, let's get some of your thoughts. Now, again, if you're new to my channel, you can disagree with me, okay? And I encourage you, if you don't believe with what I'm saying or how I'm responding to these videos, say it, but just say it respectfully, and then we can talk about it. I promise you, it's okay. This is the safe zone, okay? So let me go back and some of these. You guys been chit-chatting a lot. I love it when you guys chit-chat in here. So let me go. I'm going way back. Okay. I'm going way back. All right. Let's go back. Let's go back. Woo. You guys been chit-chatting. All right. All right. Jaws 2003 says, people have told me that as well in my personal life about getting small credit limits. Those are only people that are in debt that say things like that. People outside the debt matrix would never tell you that, Jaws, ever. Don't ever do that, ever. Because usually credit cards with small limits usually have skyrocketed interest rates. So don't ever do that. All right. Expire Zero says, why are you debunking him? You need to build credit to gain worth. I kind of think we talked about that. Again, I'm not debunking him, Expire Zero. I'm only pointing out things that don't make mathematical sense. Anything he's saying, I'm not knocking his business. I'm not saying he's stupid. I'm not saying he's wrong or doing anything illegal. He's only speaking to people in the debt matrix. Okay. That's it. Okay. Let's get on here. Naima says he has to show you guys what's real, so don't make bad decisions, guys. Thank you, Naima. That's it. I'm just, you guys, if your feelings are getting involved with me saying this, I want you guys to understand this is what it sounds like when I'm pointing out mathematical inconsistencies. All right. If I said 5 + 5 = 10 and you're getting mad about me saying that, or you're like, he's lying, he doesn't know what he's talking about, 5 + 5, I know it equals 10, but I'm mad that he's saying it. That's what it sounds like in outside the debt matrix. You're getting mad at mathematics. I didn't invent math. It was here before I was born, and it will be here well after I'm dead. Okay, so let's move on here. Art U says he's teaching the debt matrix and all the things on his list to kill people's finances. Most people don't pay stuff off in time, if at all, then his whole plan falls apart. Exactly. He's just, Art, you're right. He's just teaching. It's his business. Okay. I'm not knocking his business. My feelings about his business are 100% irrelevant. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying again, I keep saying that. He's just teaching people that live in the debt matrix. Okay. Outside the debt matrix, that makes no mathematical sense. Anything he's saying makes absolutely no mathematical sense whatsoever. You don't believe me? Do the math yourself. Expire Zero says that's true, but once you get the score up, then you can get rid of the secured credit card. Hey, Expire Zero, if that's what you believe, go ahead and follow what Jay is saying. I mean, I'm not knocking. If you believe what Jay's saying, do it. If you want to get a secured credit card by taking the money that you already have in your hand and give it to the bank, and then they make money on the back end because they hold your money, and then they charge you an interest rate to use your own money in your face. If you believe that, go right ahead. Okay. Abe says, thank you. Art says, I'm not paying the credit card and the loan. I'm not playing the credit card game and the loan game to build wealth. No, sir, I ain't doing that. But on the business side, I would get loans. I would get a loan to buy a rental property. Sure would. I would. I'd get a loan to buy a business. I would. Personally, no, I wouldn't. Okay. Expires Zero. So, but how do you do it if your income is only $30K a year? Your income has nothing to do with building credit. Nothing. It has nothing to do with building credit. Get a single unsecured credit card. This is what you do, Expire Zero. Get a unsecured credit card, one, okay? And you use it to buy everything that you normally would with your debit card or cash. And then at the end of the month, you pay it off. That's it. That's all you got to do. You won't even notice yourself building credit because you got to get gas, you got to buy food, you got to buy clothes, and you just use your credit card to buy everything. And then at the end of the month, you pay it in full. That's it. That's all I do every single month. Okay. All right. Expire Zero says, I built wealth using credit cards, and over time, my income changed and my credit changed. This allowed me to buy homes. Expire Zero. This was what I would say. I would believe everything you're saying if I could see your personal credit report, all three of them, not your credit score, your entire credit report. Because this is what I would do if I saw your personal credit report. I would add up all your savings. I would add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. If that number is in a deep negative zero, I'm not going to believe anything you're saying. You're in a negative. If you're in the negative and you believe, check it out. If you believe you build wealth while your personal finances are in the negative, math says that's not true. You can do this yourself, Expire Zero. Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Do not include anything that your name is on and the bank's name is on. Don't include any of that. Just the stuff that you own with only your name on it. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. If that number's in a negative, that's how much you're worth, really, in real life. This is not what I'm saying, Expire Zero. This is what math is saying. Mathematics. Not Linnell, not LJ, not savings minus debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. Mathematics says this to be true. Okay? Best Version Motivation says Expire, have no debt, and 30K is a lot of money you can keep. Exactly. If you have no debt and you're making $30,000 a year, you're living lovely. I know society says if you're making $30,000 a year, you're poor, you're broke, you're living in the slums, you get out of debt. That's not true. That's not true. How do I know this? I've done it. For the last 4 years, I've lived on about $35,000 a year, and I'm not even trying to do that. That's not me watching pennies and doing all this other stuff. Life is not expensive. Life is only expensive when you're in debt. When you're not in debt, life is not expensive at all. It's not. No, it's not. Art Huge says, if you have no debt, that's a start. And if you plan on making 30K forever, then how do you plan on building wealth if you never get a raise? Then that's the person's fault. Exactly. Great point, Art. Great point. If you're planning on making $30,000 for your entire life, I guess you will never be wealthy. It's that simple. You only can create wealth with your own money, starting with your money at least. Lord Vale in the league, is the Self app one of the best ways to build your credit score? I don't know what kind of app that is. Once you're out of debt, you realize you don't need an app to help you build wealth. Okay. That's just, apps are more to help people get on track or keep track of their stuff or something like that. Right. When people come to me, I create this plan. I say, hey, follow this plan and you'll be free. Right. There's really no app needed or whatever. Right. So Expire Zero says, I am now in the 6 figures and debt free. All right. Okay. Expire Zero. I'm going to just say something. Okay. You are saying things to me, and I'm not saying you are or not. Okay. I'm just pointing out something. The way you're speaking to me, you're speaking as if you're a person in debt. Okay. Personally, because there's certain things you just don't say when you're debt free. You just don't say certain things. Right. But if that's true, great. Congratulations. If you are 6 figures and debt free, congratulations. Okay. I don't know. I can't see your personal finances. I'm just going by the way you're speaking to me, the terms you're using, the words you're using. Okay. Best version motivation says, keep more money than you are paying out. That's exactly what you do. 30K is definitely, Art Hughes says 30K is okay with no payments. You're exactly right, Art. Exactly right. Expire Zero says, I agree, but how do you get from 30 to 100 without credit or a raise? You can only get without credit or a raise. Okay, you're mixing terms again. Credit has nothing to do with a raise at your job. That has nothing to do with anything. If you want to, I made $160,000 when I had a regular job as a computer engineer. So I got over, I did that. I got to $160,000 a year at my job without credit. I just worked hard and did a good job. And then I got $160,000 a year. But credit had nothing to do with that. Expire Zero says, I agree. It's all math and spending habits. Exactly. Art says, I guess I'm not understanding your question. You must be talking to Expire. Art says, yep, math and spending habits, which most people don't follow. So his plan won't work for most people. It won't. That's why at the beginning of the video, I wanted people to add up all their savings and add up all their debt and think about that large negative number. And then with that large negative number in your hand, if you want to go back and rewatch the video, watch the whole video with that large negative number in your head. Okay, with the large negative number of your finances in your head, and see if any of that works what Jay is saying. Okay, with your large negative number in your head. Okay. Expire Zero says, if I'm bringing in 30K, how can I read 100? How can I read 100K on the shortest amount of time without using credit or my job giving me an increase in pay? Okay, Expire, you keep mixing the two. You keep mixing credit and raises at your job. One has absolutely nothing to do with the other. I'm unsure why you're mixing those two. Okay. Expire, best version says, Expire, save money, play the long game, no debt, and your money will stack so fast. Listen what best version is saying, Expire Zero. When you have no debt, your money will stack so fast, your head will spin so fast, better than any investment out there in the world. Man, just stack your money. Okay. Expire Zero says, I did a mixture of the two. I went into debt and learned a skill. Then I paid off my debt and now I'm debt free. I also bought 2 properties. Okay. All right. Let me ask you something, Expire Zero. What type of mortgages do you have on your 2 properties, or what type of mortgages did you get for your 2 properties? I'm going to take a guess here. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm guessing that you got FHA mortgages on both of your properties. Am I right or wrong? Expire Zero says, my thinking is it takes money to make money. That's true. Art says, most people like me start off in debt in the debt matrix at a young age with debt and a bad credit score. It's easier to just pay off the debt. Exactly. I did the same thing, Art. I was living in the debt matrix most of my life. and I'm gonna point out something. When I was like 18, I remember financing a car, right? I remember financing one of my first cars, right? And I remember being in, and now that I'm an adult, it was one of those side businesses. It wasn't a big bank, right? And I remember going in there, and it was a family-owned financial business. I remember this older guy used to walk around the finance office. You could clearly see he was the owner. And I remember thinking to myself at 18, and I swear to God, I remember this. I remember there was something in here that I couldn't see. I couldn't see what I was doing as I was financing this car because I didn't even know the interest rate. I was just happy to get the small payments and I was approved, right? But I remember thinking to myself at 18, and I'm looking at this guy, this older guy walking around. You clearly see he had money, right? Not in a way like he was flashy, because people have this image of what wealthy looks like. That's like TV, that's acting. Don't worry about that. It's a specific look. Okay, when you look at a person, you can kind of tell, oh man, okay, I remember him walking around the office, and I remember thinking to myself, there's something here that I'm missing that I could not see and nobody could tell me. Now I know what it is. I was in debt financing a car. Don't ever finance a car. Financing a car is one of the worst detrimental things you can do to your finances ever. But the majority of the population believe it's normal. No, it's not. You never, ever finance anything that goes down in value, ever. Expire Zero says, I agree. The Zen Master, Happy New Year's, LJ. You will be hearing from me soon. Great, man. Thank you, Zen Master. Much appreciated, man. I hope so, man. I want everybody to feel this freedom. I want you guys to be in 2020 debt free. So when you hear people talk about debt to income ratio and all this other stuff, you understand that you're not part of it, because debt to income ratios only apply to people who are in debt. When you're not in debt, there is no ratio to figure out. You're not in debt. See what I'm saying? Look how easy I make that. Expire Zero says, yes, student loans are terrible. You are right, Expire Zero. There's $1.6 trillion in student loan debt, and there's 45 million people in student loan debt. Those are all slaves. Slavery is alive and well, okay? Slavery is alive and well. If you are in student loan debt, this is going to be hard to hear, okay? Listen closely. You're a slave. You are a slave. You are a working slave. Yes, you are. If you went to college for 4 years and you're paying on your student loans for 20, you're a slave. That doesn't make any sense. CNTS, that doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. Art says, yes, they are. I felt like I was released from prison when I paid it off. And Art, when you tell somebody in the debt matrix that, they will have not a clue of what you mean by that. They were like, what do you mean prison? I'm not in prison. Look at my house. Look at my car. You're like, when you see people in student loan debt or in debt and period, they're a slave in a new house. They don't know they're a slave in a new house. They're a slave in a new car. They're a slave in nice clothes. They're a slave wearing a Rolex watch. They're a slave wearing red bottoms. They're just fixed up slaves. They don't know they're slaves. They're slaves with invisible chains. Expire Zero says, I don't have student loans. Now I want you guys to pay attention to the way Expire says, I don't have student loans. That's how you know a person doesn't have student loans, because we're proud to say, I don't have student loans. When you hear somebody says, hey, everybody has student loans, people with no student loans are quick to say, I don't have student loans. That's not true. And you heard Jay say it in the video. Oh, the majority or everybody. No, he says everybody has student loans. No, that's not true. That's not true, Jay. That's not true. Dynamite Wolf says, bruh, my older sister just said she prefers a secured credit card. I tried to tell her to get out of debt first. She's like, she needs to bring her credit up to get an apartment. See what I'm saying, Dynamite? She wants to get her credit up so she can dig herself deeper in the hole by using secured credit cards. She has no idea what you're saying. And Dynamite Wolf, let me tell you something. I always say this in the beginning. Money is spoken in two languages, debt and debt free. When you speak in debt to a person when you speak in debt free to a person that's in debt, this is what you sound like, okay? That's why they don't hear you. They don't hear you, Dynamite. People think I'm joking when I say that kind of stuff. It's true. They don't hear you. I always give this example so you guys can test this out on your social medias. Just go like this. This is the perfect example. I want you to, on your social media, you say, hey, if somebody had $100,000 in student loan debt and they won $80,000, what should you do? Now, there's only one single answer. 80,000 minus 100,000 equals negative 20,000. Whoever the scenario is, they're still negative $20,000 in the hole. But see, I want you guys to pay attention to how many answers you get back. And I want you to ask yourself, how come there's so many answers when there's only one? Because they live in the debt matrix. They don't believe in mathematics. That's it. Dynamite Wolf says secure credit cards are real bad. And I just learned that from this video. They are really bad, Dynamite Wolf. You are giving away your money for free. You're taking, again, say like there's a $500 secured credit card. You must come up with $500 first. So you must go out and work and get it. And you have it in your hand. And you give it to the bank. And the bank gives you a $500 piece of plastic and says, here you go. They take your money, loan it out on the back end. And then they charge you on top of that. They're like it's like double dipping. They charge you an interest rate to use your own money so they can bless you with a credit score. Are you crazy? That's financial suicide. Don't ever do that. D. Anderson says, I have no student loan debt, nor ever did. Congratulations, D. Anderson. Welcome to the other people that don't. I know the majority of people. This is how you can tell. For those of you that don't have student loan debt, and you want to find out if there's people that you know that have student loan debt, this is all you got to do. Start talking about the student loan debt crisis. If they get emotionally involved in that question, they have student loan debt. That's it. Because people that don't have student loan debt, we barely even pay attention to the student loan debt crisis. Oh, really? It's up to 6 point. Wow, that's a lot of money. Okay, well, back to what I was doing, because it has nothing to do with us. Okay. Felix G says, how would I build credit? How would I build a credit report if you wanted to buy a property as a person who is debt free but with little savings? If you have little savings, you can't buy, according to math, you can't buy anything. You can't buy property. According to math says if you want to buy property, this is what you do. You stay out of debt. You got to save up a large down payment. Once you go to the bank with no debt and a large down payment, the bank will understand that you understand how it really works. This is what I'm sharing with you guys. There's an economy that the regular people can see in the debt matrix, and then there's another economy outside of the debt matrix. If you go to the bank with money down and no debt, they're going to know that you know. They're going to know that you believe in mathematics because you have no debt. But if you go to the bank and say, hey, bank, I want a loan for this property. Say like you saved up $50,000 for this property. Say like that you did that, but you got $100,000 in student loan debt. According to math, 50,000 minus 100,000 equals negative 50,000, right? So the bank now has to determine if you really believe you have $50,000, or do you really understand that you're negative $50,000 in the hole? If you don't know that you're negative $50,000 in the hole, the bank is going to take full advantage of you. Why? Because you don't know mathematics. That's it. You're not doing anything. If you go into the bank and you don't understand you're still negative $50,000 in the hole, you don't understand mathematics. So they're going to take advantage of you. Ken Brown says, LJ is speaking straight facts. I was taught by my parents to be debt free. Wow, man, Ken. Then I was brainwashed to believe that I needed to make payments on credit cards to get a house and have been in debt ever since. Ken, let me tell you something, man. And the reason why I'm clapping, and it's no fault to your own, Ken. I want you to understand this. When you're young and you hear your parents say, hey, debt free, you don't want to really hear what they're trying to say, because what they're saying is going to take you a long time to save up to buy this house, car, shoes, whatever, right? So you're rebelling against them because the majority of people are in debt. So if you constantly hearing this stuff in your ear all the time, right? At that point, you don't know as a youngster, all you have to do is use the mathematics that you learned in grade school on your finances and you'll win with money. If you're constantly hearing finance cars, finance house, finance clothes, get credit cards, you're going to naturally believe it, because you're going to see people in the debt matrix. When you don't know, you only can go by the stuff you see. You see their cars, their houses, their clothes, their job, if they're doctor, lawyer, whatever. So you believe that's the very reason why they have money. That means absolutely nothing. Debt doesn't care what you look like, what kind of job you have, brain surgeon to a janitor. It doesn't care. It doesn't care. All I'm saying is this, Ken. Yes, you had an advantage that you didn't know of that your parents were teaching you. Get out of debt. It's never too late. Get out of debt. You can do it. Okay. Come see me. Come see me. Brian says, no, no, no. Never get a secured credit card. You don't need it. You sure don't. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. Secured credit cards are for people with bad credit and don't understand money. That's what secured credit cards. Now, I'm not knocking anybody that does it, because why? I did it. I couldn't see it because I was in debt. Once I got out of debt, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Exactly. Expire Zero says, gotcha. I appreciate that. Expire, welcome, man. Welcome. Okay. And when I interact with you, Expire Zero, I want you to understand, I'm not getting down on you. I'm not saying you're stupid or I'm not saying any of that. Okay. This is the safe zone, the SMD family. This is where you can come and have an adult dialogue. Why is this? And everything I say, I justify with mathematics. Math is undeniable. Either you're going to agree that 5 + 5 = 10 or you're not. The Invest Doc, what's up? How you doing, sir? Welcome, welcome. Linnell, I will have that graphic to you later today. I love the topic. Definitely got to avoid consumer and student loan debt. Investment Doc, welcome. I'm looking forward to it. Me and Invest Doc got something coming up for you guys, so I'm gonna wait till he gets all this stuff together, and then we're gonna do our thing. Okay? All right. I appreciate it, man. It was a pleasure talking to you, by the way. Ken Brown says, I'm now working on being debt free. I want all the money I pay on my debts to go to in my pockets. Just imagine. That's what you do. Ken, I'm gonna tell you something, okay? It took me 2 years straight of paying off debt to get out of debt. Once you get out of debt and you get that, like, say, like the paycheck I had was the last paycheck that I used to pay off debt, right? And then that following paycheck, when that comes in, let me tell you something, Ken, when that first check, when you're out of debt and that first check comes in after the last check you paid on debt, it's an amazing feeling. Okay. First, you're going to go through I went through a withdrawal. Like, I forgot to pay something. What did I forget to pay? What did I forget to pay? Okay. No, that doesn't exist. And what a lot of people don't realize is this: when you pay off your debt, when you're in debt, you have a ton of due dates to keep track of. You got a ton of due, cable bill, phone bill, car note, insurance. I mean, you got this stuff. And once you pay all that stuff off, you don't have any more due dates. You're no longer scared of your mailbox. You don't believe Freddy Krueger lives in your mailbox anymore. You have no due dates. And you get that first check and it just sits there. It just sits there. You're like, it's not going anywhere. Nope. And then the next one comes in and stacks. And then the next one comes in and it stacks. And then and check it out. And this is the big thing. Okay. It took me a year. It took me exactly a year to get over being angry at myself for not seeing something so simple to see. The only difference, but the things that's keeping you from becoming wealthy, the only difference between the wealthy and the not wealthy, the wealthy trust mathematics. People in debt don't trust mathematics. That is it. Life for a Business says, Linnell Young, you need to make the Savings Minus Debt book by 2021. I am. All right. I'm listening to you guys. I'm mad that my shirts are not here. I hate when I do business with a business and they have bad communication. That just bothers me, right? When people come to me, I make sure there's constant communication. Make sure they know, hey, if the ball's in your court, you're going to know the ball's in your court, that I need something from you to complete what I need to do for you. Everybody's going to know the ball's in your court. It's not going to be ever sitting in my court, ever. It's always going to be in your court. And then when you're ready, and I expect other businesses to be like that. I called for my shirts the other day. It's been 2 weeks. I'm like, hey, what's up with my shirts? They're like, oh, first I sent them a couple of messages, right? No response. I'm like, okay. Then I finally called them and said, hey, what's up with those shirts? Oh, they're right here they're ready. They're ready for pickup. I said, pickup? I ordered them to be shipped. Oh, okay. We'll get them out today. I said, hey, do me a favor. when you ship them out today, please send me the shipping number or the tracking number. You think I got the tracking number? See, now I will never do business with this t-shirt company again because of the communication. That's bad business. Very bad business. But anyway, they're coming, right? I'm going to get a book going. I am. I don't know how thick it's going to be. I'm going to have to have somebody help me write it, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm going to get that book out, Life for Business. Tony says, hey, Linnell, back then, no one would give me a real credit card. So I had to get a secured card in the beginning. Now, of course, I have real credit cards, plural. Now, Tony, I understand because you want to get into the credit game. So what you did, Tony, was pay to get into the credit game. You pay, you say, hey, bank, you guys can use my money. And if you promise to bless me with a credit score, I appreciate it. And the bank said, okay, we can, but it's not free. You're going to have to pay. And you said, okay, I get it. I did the same thing, Tony. I'm not knocking you for doing it. You said credit cards, plural. You really only need one. You don't need multiple, but it's, to each their own, whatever, right? But I get it. The credit game is not free. Do I need to participate in the credit game? Yeah, credit's part of life, but I look at credit differently. Credit is a tool, no different than a hammer. I need a lawnmower to cut the grass. I need some Windex to shine the. It's just tools. I don't need credit. Don't even need it. Okay. Expire Zero says, Greg, very good info. Thank you. Thank you, man. Expire Zero says, I have a 30-year conventional. Congratulations. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much for saying that. I much appreciate it. But now, again, now that I'm out of the debt matrix, I think about it this way, okay? Think about a 30-year mortgage period. How did the banks convince us that it was okay to pay on something for 30 freaking years? 30 years? Ain't doing none of that. No, sir. There's ways you can pay off a rental property in 7. Sure is. 30 years? How they lock that in people's brains? I don't know. Here you are, not you specifically, Expire Zero, just in general. They convince people to sign on the dotted line to promise the bank 30 years of their future income, 30 years of money that doesn't even exist yet, and you promise it to the bank. Hell to the no. I ain't doing none of that. Nope. No, sir. Flex G says, I'm getting rid of my debt and then getting a consultation, LJ, in March. Give me some. Hey, this is what I say, Felix. When you're ready, first of all, the first step, you got to even hear and know that this debt-free even exists. So right there, you're already in step 1. You're already there. You don't even know it, that you're even acknowledging that you're in debt. You're saying, I'm in debt. That's step 1. I've already done part of my work. That you understand that you're in debt. There's people walking around this earth right now have not a clue that they're in debt or how much debt they're in. They believe everybody has student loans. They believe everybody has, they call them forever loans, forever students. Good luck with that. So Felix, you're already on step 1. Fresh Prince CEO, what's up? 2020 SMD family. Yes, it is 2020. Willie says he's being, man, using these big words, man. Decisionist by not establishing which is which. Instead, he's merging the two with business and personal. It's 2 different worlds. Exactly, Willie. Just a second. I'm looking at decisionist. I love it though. Good job, Willie, man. I appreciate that. But you're right. He's mixing the 2 worlds. I hate it when people do that. And I don't know. This is the only way I can tell if Jay Morrison is really, if he knows he's mixing the 2 or he's doing it on purpose or accident. The only way I'll know that if I could see his personal credit reports, all 3, not his credit scores, but his entire credit reports. Ken says, because I initially taught to be debt-free, I never had a car payments or student loan payments, but the credit cards got me bad decision. You know what? You learn, you live and learn, Ken. Unless you're dead, that's it. You can change it. You can turn it around. You can turn it around. And for those, I'm not going to get in that, but you can turn it around. Life for a Business says, I have 10 credit cards, but all paid in full each month. I just like the cash back. Woo, 10 credit cards. Hey, do your thing. I personally, that's too much stuff to keep track of, too open for fraud. too open to keep the credit card companies be switching their terms and agreements. I don't want to deal with all that. I just have one. That's it. That's it. Brian says, I believe a lot of people are in debt because of bad spending habits. Therefore, getting out of debt is only problem number one. You still have to work on your habits. That's true. But if you get out of debt, in order for you to get out of debt, it takes a change of habits. You have to change your habits. You have to. And the number one thing is, Brian, you have to ignore the people in the debt matrix. Everybody in the debt matrix, you have to ignore because they're going to only give you debt advice. So if you come up to somebody in the debt matrix, this is what people in the debt matrix say. Hey, don't pay off your student loans. Invest in this, that, and then when you make this money off the interest off of whatever this investment is, and then you can pay off the student loan debt. Okay, this is what, and the people in the debt matrix, they believe that. Okay, they believe it. They say, oh, okay, that's true, right? But this is all the people out in the debt matrix have to do to when somebody gives them the type of advice like that. You go, if you have $100,000 in student loan debt and you talk to some type of investor or somebody that tells you to do that, they say, hey, don't pay off your student loans, do this, that, this, and that. And then when they're done with their spiel, right, you say this to them exactly the way I'm going to tell you, but just enter your own debt numbers. You go, if I'm negative $100,000 in debt, where am I supposed to get the money to invest in this stock market, whatever you're telling me to invest in? That's mathematically impossible. What am I supposed to do to invest? They have to turn to you and say, oh, I forgot. You got to get further in debt by borrowing the money. You got to go further into debt to invest in that. So they're going to take you from 100,000, say like the investment was 20,000. You go from 100,000 to negative $120,000 in debt to invest in something that may or may not return anything. It doesn't make any sense. But unless you trust math, you won't know that. Tony says, I have two credit cards. I am debt free. Thanks for answering my question. You are welcome, Tony. All right, 2 credit cards. Okay, I assume that credit cards plural was many. Okay, 2 is cool. 2 is cool. I have 1. 2 is good. You know, as long as you pay them bad boys off, don't be paying interest. All right. I just don't want you paying interest. I create the wealth building foundation. What do? I seal the cracks in the foundation. I look at me as I want you guys to look at me as the creator of the base foundation. I create millionaires, okay? I create the base foundation, and then once you understand it here, nobody higher can fool you. So you will know how to pick the right investor. You will know how to hear them. You will know how to listen to them, what they're saying, because people that understand money, that understand how it works, they're 9 times out of 10, the people that understand money that are millionaires and billionaires, they're only talking to people who are debt-free personally. People that are in debt, they believe, like when you hear Robert Kiyosaki or something, he says, hey, I love debt. Debt does this, debt does that. He's only talking about business debt. He's not talking about personal debt. He uses debt with his business to buy other properties. That is perfectly okay. But when people in debt hear that, they're like, hey, Robert Kiyosaki uses debt. No, he's not talking to you. If you're in debt and you listen to Robert Kiyosaki and you believe in what he's saying, that debt is this and that, he's not talking to you. He's not talking to people in debt. Personally, I guarantee you he's not in debt personally. Business-wise, he uses debt for his business, okay? Expire Zero says, do you recommend canceling some credit cards? I currently have 5. I only use 2 of them. Yes, cancel the other 3. Keep your credit cards with the highest balances. I mean, it's totally up to you. Which one do you want to keep with the best benefits or whatever you want to keep? 2 is the maximum. Okay. For me, I only have 1, but if I don't see a purpose of having 2. I really don't. You know, I only need 1. I use that credit card to buy everything. I can use it to buy things online, rent cars, hotel rooms. It's a tool. I only need that 1 tool. I can rent anything I want, or get a hotel room, buy things online, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So you don't need 3. It's just, I think like this Expire Zero, I just think when you have that many credit cards, even though you're paying them off every month, you're just open to more fraud. You know what I'm saying? Now you're susceptible to the rule changes, and never, ever, ever have a credit card with an annual fee on it. Never. I don't pay to have plastic in my pocket. So if you have an annual fee on your credit card, you need to get rid of that credit card. Get rid of it. Even if you pay it off every month, or maybe if you don't even use it and you're paying a yearly fee on that, you don't pay to have plastic in your pocket. Life for Business says, I only use 4 of the cards, really. 6 of the cards are for business. Okay. Advertising, etc. Okay. So that's different, Life for Business. Your credit cards are for business. Okay, cool. If those credit cards, now when you say for business, are those credit cards under the business name, or are they under your personal name? Okay. It's a big difference. But most importantly, paid in full each month. Great. I love to hear that. Great. E-Man says, having the sense of urgency to pay off debt is very important. Time flies so fast, forget about it later. Exactly, E-Man. People like, oh, I'd swipe it, especially around Christmas time, New Year's, all these major holidays. If you take out your feelings from your money, you won't care what other people in the debt matrix thinks. Like, say you're in debt and Christmas is coming up. Now, the majority of people feel bad that they can't buy anybody some gifts for Christmas. So they don't want other people to think they're broke or feel you got to remove those feelings. Say like there's a big party for New Year's and it's going to cost this much to go to this party. If you don't have any money, you say, hey, I'm not going. Why not? I have no money. I'm broke. You say that. Doesn't matter how they feel about it, because 9 times out of 10, the people that are going to them parties, they're probably broke too. They just look like they're not broke. Don't be fooled by Facebook trips, brand new cars. Hey, look, I got a raise. I deserve this. I got a brand new car. Oh, you got in further debt. You got a raise and you dug yourself deeper in debt. You see that on social media all the time. People be saying that all the time. Oh, I got a raise. I deserve this new car. You do? You deserve to dig yourself deeper in the hole and tell the whole world about it. That's not your car. That's not your house. No, sir. See you later, Mark. Happy New Year's. Have a good one. Life for a Business. The cards are under business name. Congratulations. You're doing it right. You're doing exactly right. Do that. That's all I'm saying. Just do it right. Jaw says, I've noticed that the travel reward cards have an annual fee. The cashback cards don't. What if a person wants to travel on points using everyday purchases? Hey, do it. I'm just saying personally, I don't pay annual fees on credit cards. I just don't do that. I absolutely refuse to. I absolutely refuse to pay for something for a piece of plastic in my pocket. I absolutely refuse to. You know, and if you're, but to each their own. I mean, if you have an annual fee card, but you're getting so many points and you're paying your credit card off, and the balance wise of you traveling on those points versus the yearly annual fee, maybe that mathematically it works out, but you got to do your own math if it works out for you. Me personally, that's just another thing I have to keep track of, because I pay an annual fee on it, and I'm not even really thinking about it, because usually I'm not sure how they do it, but the annual fee they probably just pull it out of your credit card your credit card balance. I'm assuming that's how they pull the annual fee, so you don't even have to think about it. No, I want to know about everything. I don't care how much it is. I don't care if it's $5. I want to know why you're pulling that. No, sir. Life for Business doesn't show on right, it doesn't show on personal reports. Amex, Chase, I got a Capital One business card. It showed up on my reports immediately. Canceled. Oh, wait a minute. Doesn't show Amex, Chase. I got a Capital One business card. It showed up on my reports immediately. Canceled it. Great job. Great job. Yeah, they don't do none of that. No, sir. Cancel that. Nope. Felix G says, all good, man. I'd like for a business. Yeah. Man, these are great questions, you guys, man. I'm loving today's thing. I'm going to have my, there's my website scrolling along the bottom there. Now, free 30-minute consultation. Okay. You just go to my website, schedule your own free 30-minute consultation. Please do not forget to schedule your time zone. Select your time zone. So when you go to the website, SavingsMinusDebt.com, click on book consultation, set your time zone, and then set the time you want, and then we'll just make it happen, okay? All right. Any other question, you guys? Any other questions? Any other questions? These are really, really great questions. I appreciate it. Happy New Year, you guys. I want to help you guys come into the new year. I want you guys to come into the new year with it was just getting out of debt, man. Make 2020 your free debt-free year, because I'm telling you guys, I'm trying my best to translate this to you guys that once you become financially free, there's nothing like financial freedom. And this is I'm gonna give you guys something so you can understand that how it feels in my life every day as financially free. Okay, this is the best way I can describe it to you. Add up all your savings and then add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. Now, if you are deep in a debt, if this is a large, deep negative number, yes, including student loans, yes, including your mortgage, yes, including collections, everything, right? Now, imagine somebody coming along and writing a check to pay off every single one of your debts. How would that make you feel? What would that make you feel like? How would that be a relief? How would that make you feel? Wouldn't that be amazing feeling? This is how I feel every single day now. This is how I feel. It's normal for me, right? That's what it feels like to have a net worth of zero. Not $1 million, not $1 billion, not $1 trillion, a net worth of zero. That's what it feels like. Jaws says, got you, LJ. They do pull the annual fee out of your credit line. See, credit cards are good, man. They are brilliant. They got the game on lock. I like Citibank. I had their double cash card with no annual fee for their thank you premier. They charge a $95 annual fee. No, sir. None of that. Their thank you, yeah. Thank you, Premier. Thank you for making us rich in Premier. Woo! Life for Business says, great show. Much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. I want you. How much water do you drink a day? Quentin says, well, that's pretty much all I drink, Quentin, is water. I only drink water. I really do. I drink lots of water. I've been drinking water like this. I mean, ever since I started getting healthy, I stopped drinking pop and all that other stuff. And I just drink water. That's it. Especially when I talk, my mouth gets dry. But that's all I drink is water. I don't even keep track of it. I just drink a lot of water. And I go to the bathroom a lot. So I'm assuming that I drink a lot of water. E-Man says, LJ, do you have family members that follow your advice about debt free? Nope. No, they don't. Check it out. E-Man, that we don't even talk about what I do. They don't want to hear it. Neither do my friends, my close friends. They don't want to hear it. So we stopped talking about it, because if I continue to talk about it, I'll distance myself from my family members and friends. So we just don't talk about it. So when they talk about their vacation, especially the ones that have years of student loan debt, when they talk to me about their vacation, let's go, hey, cool. That was a cool place to go to. I don't say things like, hey, did you pay off that student loan debt? I don't say things like that, right? I just go, because remember, let me tell you guys something. Once you get out of the debt matrix, in order for you to fit into the debt matrix, once you're out, you still got to fit in to make money. So you got to make money off the people in the debt matrix, right? So you have to fit in. So you have to just pretend that you're like them. You know, you just got to go, oh, when they come up to you with a brand new car and believe they got it on sale and say, hey, check out the new car smell. I got an awesome interest rate and this and that. Oh, it's only this much. I paid for 5 years, 72 months, whatever, right? You got to go just like this. Oh, cool. Great. Oh man, can I ride in the car? Okay, great, man. This is awesome, man. This is cool. And that's how you got to fit in. You just got to go along with them and make them feel like they really did get the car on sale. Make them feel like they really did get a good deal on it. I mean, yeah, it's okay to tie yourself for 7 years to a depreciating object. You just got to make them feel that's okay. Else you're not going to have any friends and family members. It's that simple. E-Man says, it's funny how the debt matrix, how the debt matrix think they can outsmart the banks and the credit card companies. Exactly. They all think that. They all think they're going to come here. Now, you remember, the banks have been at this for centuries. People in the debt matrix think they're just going to be born, come here and do a trick on the banks, right? And the banks understand mathematics. The banks understand that math is the key. Math and money are one. You can't have one without the other. You can't make one work without the other. That's mathematically impossible to make money work without mathematics. That's impossible. But yet people in the debt matrix think there's a trick that they can get around the banks and fool them or something. The banks created the credit score system. They created credit reports. All they got to do is look at your credit report and clearly see you don't understand mathematics. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. Anybody that I'm going to do business with now or in the future, the first question I'm going to ask them, I need to see your personal credit reports, all three. This is their natural response when I ask for people credit reports. Hey, let me see your personal credit report. Oh man, my credit score is this. My credit score is that. I didn't ask to see your credit score. I asked to see your entire credit report. It's going to tell me everything I need to know. If it's going to show if a person respects or disrespects their personal finances. If they disrespect their own personal finances, do you think if I partner up with them, they're going to magically somehow respect the business finances? No, they're not, because their credit report is showing me they don't even respect their own. They're not. If they don't respect their own, they're not going to respect anything outside of themselves. It's not true. Jaws 2003 says, you're right, LJ. You do get that same perks for most or part of their regarding the protections and city private pass. Man, look at all these fancy names that credit card companies come up with. City private pass, protection. Those are free across the board for zero annual fee and zero annual fee and an annual fee. Exactly. It's not. And I'm not knocking the banks. They're making money. The banks are in the business of making money, not teaching people about money. Okay. Now, for those of you guys that have been hesitant to pull the trigger on getting my services, Christmas is over. You got through it. You're probably thinking, oh man, okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and pull the trigger and use my credit cards to make everybody happy during Christmas and New Year's. Now January is here. Okay. You need to pull the trigger. Schedule a consultation with me. I guarantee you I will be able to make a plan for you. Guaranteed. All backed up with mathematics. Now, when I show you the math, this is going to be the hard part. When I show you the mathematics, now all you got to do is believe it. That's going to be the hard part. I know it sounds funny. I know it sounds crazy that you have to believe math, but it's true. You're going to have to see this large negative number, because a lot of people don't even know how much debt they're in. A lot of people are scared to even know that number. A lot of people believe that they'll never pay off their student loan debt. There is no other way out. Especially if you're in student loan debt. Let me say this to you guys so you can understand this. There is no way out of student loan debt unless you pay it off. There is no other way out. There is no other vehicle that's going to pay off your debt faster than your job. There is no other vehicle. You have to pay your student loan debt off. There is no other way. You can't bankrupt it. You can't do anything else. You're going to have to pay it off. You have to. If you don't believe you will ever pay off your student loan debt, you're going to be a slave until you're dead. That's the fact. You're going to be a slave until you're dead. People believe slavery is dead. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's an economy that that the majority of people see, and then there's an economy that the majority of people don't see. This is where I live. I live in the one that's invisible to most. There are people walking around on this planet right now believing they're living life while having student loans that are older than their children, knowing that if they don't pay it off, they'll die with it. The majority of people have accepted of dying with their student loan debt. What kind of place must a person be to accept that they're going to die with student loan debt? That's got to be a horrible place to be. Horrible. And they don't even know it. They don't even know they're slaves. Is a slave if they don't know they're a slave? That's the best kind of slave to have. One that doesn't know they're a slave. That's the best kind of slave to have. A well-dressed slave living in a nice house, driving a nice car. That's the best slave to have. One that doesn't know they're a slave. Who cares if they believe it or not? If they're in student loan debt, if this is you and you believe it's cool to have a student loan debt for your whole life, you're a slave. Who cares if you don't believe it? Doesn't matter. Math says it to be true. Is the math right? Yeah, then you're a slave. Nothing to even argue about. Nothing. If you are a slave, recognize that you're a slave and you need to come see me. I can help you snap the chains off. Now remember, they can't physically enslave you, so they made the chains invisible. You have invisible chains. Wherever you go, when you go on vacation, you have you have the chains. When you drive your new car, you have the chains. When you're in traffic, you have the chains. When you're at your job, you have the chains on you. You can't hear them, you can't see them, but they're on. Believe me, they're on. No matter where you go in the United States, you have change. I remember seeing articles that people are trying to leave the United States to escape their student loan debt. Oh man, I'll never be able to pay that off. I'm gonna move out of the country. Wait a minute. Debt is making you leave the country? You are a slave. If debt controls a lot of people, if student loan debt is making people leave the country, that is so powerful. That is so powerful that it makes you leave the country. I just think when I hear that, when I read articles like that, I say, look at that slave trying to escape. That person believes those chains don't stay attached across country lines. Yes, they do. Elijah, good morning. Happy 2020. Happy 2020, you guys. Hey, and I want to point out something that somebody brought this to my attention. Like now, remember this, okay? People in the debt or people outside the debt matrix. When you sign a document, usually now that it's 2020, say like today you were signing a document and when you put the date, you would naturally put 1/1/20. Okay. Now remember, in order to get away from fraud, make sure you write out the full 2020, because somebody can say 1/1/20 and then put a 17 at the end of it, or a 19 at the end of it, or an 18 at the end of it. They can easily put the two numbers at the end and make it look like it was that year. When you sign a document, like if today you were signing a document, you put 1/1/2020. This whole year, you put 1/1/2020. Okay, on anything you sign. Okay, anything. Just eliminate any possible scam, fraud. Anything. Like right now, let me give you guys an example. Right now, I have one credit card. All three of my credit bureaus are frozen. They're frozen. So if anybody gets my name or something and they try to open up some credit, it's going to be frozen. They're going to say, sorry, we can't see anything. Exactly. That's exactly what I want. I can thaw it out anytime I want if I'm going to use credit, but I don't never use credit. I just use my credit card. It doesn't have any effect on my current credit card, but anything that's open new or tries to get open new, it's frozen. This is all free, people. It's all free. So any other questions before I leave? We're going to wrap this up. We're going on 2 hours. We got about 1 minute left. So if I can get in 1 or 2 questions, I will answer any questions. If you're new to my channel, welcome to the SMD family. I I have, if you're looking to reduce your phone bill, I come up with a list of companies that can save you hundreds of dollars per year. All right. And I'm selling those for $9.97, something like that. Right. So here's my email. If you want the list, I can give you this list. Here's my email. I'll have it up on my website soon. And you can email me if you want that list. You can send me $9.97 to a PayPal or whatever, right? Or my Cash App. And I'll send you the list. All right. If you guys are out there paying over $50 a month for a single line by yourself, you're getting ripped. Okay, those days been over for years. If you got a cell phone plan, right? Say like you went into the cell phone office and you got a plan for, let's say, $70 a month, but by the time that phone bill gets to your house, it's almost $100 with all the taxes and fees. You're getting ripped. Those days been over for years. Check it out. They only charge people those type of prices for those of you that finance cell phones. Because if you finance a cell phone, you have no choice but to pay those prices because you're financing a cell phone. And if you're financing a cell phone, you're in deep financial trouble because people that manage money well would never in a million years finance a cell phone, let alone a car. A car goes down in value so fast, right? When you finance it. Can you imagine how fast a cell phone goes down in value? Oh my God. All right. Any other questions before we get off here? It's 2 hours. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Much appreciated. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let me throw that up there. Hit the like button. Please do not forget to hit that. Please subscribe. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for the donations. I thank you all for my new clients, my new subscribers. I'm getting at least 1 to 2 new subscribers per day, and that's pretty awesome. That's really awesome. That means the message is getting out there. And if you guys get out there and if you come across some financial videos that you want me to review, please send them my way and we can do it online and go through it mathematically. It's not debunking anybody. It's not putting anybody down. It's not saying they're wrong, right, illegal, doing anything illegal. It's none of that. None of that. It's just, I'm just pointing out the mathematical inconsistencies. Okay. All right. All right, you guys. Well, that looks like it's about it. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Much appreciated. Happy 2020, January 1st. All right. Have a good one.